Okay, cameras are rolling.
Yes.
You ready?
Now for something special. The unit is self-contained with its own saddler, farrier, wheelwright and so on. It's a rigorous training, dished out who know all there is to know about horses, and it brings results.
We take you behind the scenes now to show just some of the interesting aspects of this training.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine, the award-winning #1 podcast to create sounder horses from the ground up. Mike Stine is a registered journeyman farrier with an APF1 accreditation. On this week's show, talking terminology, we're going to talk about the Carpus and also a series of x-rays. So jump on over to YouTube right now. You can see these in real time as we're talking about them. This is a horse named Wilbur. Also a case study, a couple videos after a rehab horse. All this and much more will be discussed here on Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. And over to my far inside, my very own rehabilitation guy is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good, Travis. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Welcome to the last episode of season 12, Mike.
Yes.
Are you excited?
Yes. Did you think we'd survive this long?
You say that at the end and the beginning of every season. And yes, I've always said that. I said there's so much. I have learned so much doing this show with you, Mike, over the last 4 years now. Just over 4 years we've been doing this show. I have learned so much. Whether I can apply that outside of here, outside of this studio, I don't know.
I hope that maybe I can one day.
But I mean, when I'm sitting here in the studio and when we have guests on, and we've had numerous of great guests that have been on this show over the last couple of years, the questions that pop in my head, I'm like going, why do I know these things? How come I know these things? And I gotta stop letting this stuff absorb into my head, because when something comes in, something else has got to go out,
like,
right?
You know, nowadays, when I have something weird with a horse come up, I got to give you a call to make sure I understand what's going on.
Right, you call me.
Right.
No, you don't call me. You call all your other buddies that you have contacts with. Now, like I said, this is the end of season 12. What we do, just to give you guys a heads up, we take a couple weeks off. We regain our, collect our thoughts and schedule how the new show or the next season is going to go. And we'll have a list of topics and stuff. Right. And if you'd like to hear some stuff, some topics, some things to touch on, the way you do that is go to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says contact us, fill out that little form, and we will we'll put that in the running as far as what we're going to talk about in the next season. And we do 12 weeks on and about 2 weeks, 3 weeks off, depending on if there's a holiday in between. But here's the great thing. If you go over to equinedynamics.com right now, well, let's backtrack a little bit. If you go to YouTube right now,
YouTube.
I have every podcast. We have a YouTube channel because we have a lot of visual elements. Mike's got a whole bunch of X-rays and stuff that we're going to be looking here. We have some videos and stuff as well. So if you want to see the full-length podcast in its entirety, go over to YouTube, search Equine Dynamics, give them a subscribe over there. And the reason why I say go to YouTube right now is because we have designed a new logo for the Equine Dynamics show. We kind of just updated it a little bit, and I'm going to switch over to camera 6 here, and you can see this. And that is the new logo for the upcoming season, Mike. So what do you think of that?
Wow, that looks good. It looks very good.
So if you're familiar with the logo, it still says Equine Dynamics across the top, and it says Mike Stine. I took the microphone away from the horse's shoe, and it kind of sits alone by itself inside the upside-down horse's shoe, and it says Creating Sounder Horses. And it says podcast across the bottom, but it's got like this Looney Tunes starburst, this green starburst behind it, because we do get a little loony here.
We do have Looney Tunes. And we are Looney Tunes.
Well, one of us is. So if you want to get this, I've got some.
I am Looney Tunes.
We have some new swag that I bought that will be coming here to the station, so you can see this and you can get yours right now. And the way you do that is go to equinedynamics.com and get yours now. So, Mike, what have you been up to? Anything?
Believe it or not, I've been working on horses.
Yeah.
It's a surprise, I know. But yeah, no, I've had a few things going on for sure. Been back down east a little bit more, in Southern Pines a little bit more than I had been. Been talking to Julia about...
Julia Fisher,
South Carolina.
Yep, South Carolina Horse Council.
Yes, exactly. About... You know, we're going to do some clinics with them, working on setting some dates. And I had something pop up the other day where someone had a horse standing with his front feet in a muck bucket.
Were they cooling it off from the heat or a run or something like that?
Well, actually, they were. They were, for sure.
How did I know that? How did I know that?
Situation I got involved in. And the good thing is, someone just laid an egg.
Chickens
The
down
good
there.
thing is someone just laid an egg, yes. And the story was horse had decided to work the combination on the feed door and got into where it shouldn't have been.
Got a speed bag going on the feed door?
Right. And it's one of those deals because, I've got horses that will soak legs after cross country to deal with inflammation, take care of any edema in the legs. And I've gone at some of these competitions and horses sending in a trash can up to their shoulder and they're happily standing there and eating. And the deal with this horse was, when you're dealing with horse on a grain overload, is go ahead and deal with possibilities of inflammation immediately. The wait and see thing, I want to wait to see if it gets bad before I do anything and all this. Well, this horse is quite happy. No signs of any kind of damage or anything like that. But the horse had, went to the all-you-can-eat buffet and did what we all do. You don't, I do.
Right.
And but the owner was very proactive, and then people said, well, look, the horse didn't have any damage. Why did you do that? Well, it may have been that the fact that we were dealing with inflammation in multiple ways up front might be the reason we didn't have any damage.
Now, do they put ice in the bucket? Or
Yes,
is
they
it
were ice.
Okay.
And Doc Redden, a long time ago, when they used to have horses in the clinic living there, a lot of times he would do almost like a brine water in a big tub. People try to soak feet, just get their feet in, and he'd get them in it up to their knees. And
can you put like Epsom salts or something in?
yes, exactly.
Okay.
And I'll tell you the truth, like if you go back and look at some of the stuff Henry Heimerings did, Henry was the one who actually started the American Farriers Journal. Henry is gone now. But he always said, if you put enough Epsom salt in there, that it leaves a film of Epsom salt on the foot. You can do that and not waterlog the foot, because the problem is later on is if you want to glue or something like that and you got a foot that's just sopping wet, you can't. But yes, do the Epsom salt, do salt whatever in there, and deal with inflammation. It's like Doc Redden used to say, you need to make it like an ice cream brine, and you know how it is when you stick your hand in that.
Because I do it all the time.
Yes, you do. And but horses like up in Alaska get through the winter in the cold and extreme cold, and horses can take a lot more cold on their feet than we do. So people ought to look that up and think about it some. And in our day-to-day handling and management of horses, most of the time when you get a horse in that situation, it's like you can't get them near the bucket. They're flipping it over everything else.
Playing with it.
But there are people who have actually taken time and taught their horses to do such things, even in an empty bucket, because you don't want to waterlog their feet, but stand there and eat with their feet in a muck tub.
Right.
And they'll stand there happy and eat, and this is what we do. But the problem is when you get in trouble and you can't do this to help your horses out.
All right, guys, we've got a big show to get into, lots to talk about. And if you're not over on YouTube watching us right now, when you get a chance, when you pull over to the side of the road, look us up over on YouTube. Give Mike a subscribe over there. And we have a bunch of x-rays and videos that we're going to be broadcasting here on the show. And you can see this in real time as we're talking about it here on the air. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. Those chickens, man. Jeez. And I've cleaned their nesting boxes out, put brand new hay in it, and for whatever reason, they're going in that tack room down there and they're laying eggs I don't know why.
They're just trying to be helpful.
Yeah, so my dad doesn't have to go all the way down there and dig them out.
They're doing it for your dad.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. That's what they're thinking about. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget, you can join the podcast. You can be part of the show. And the way you do that is go to equinedynamics.com. At the very top of the page says, join the podcast. There's a little orange bar that says, leave a message for Mike Stine. What it does is it opens up a microphone on your device, whatever you're listening to us on or at. If you've got a microphone, you can speak right into it. Your voice will be heard right here on the air. You can ask us any question over the last 4 years of shows. This is the end of season 12, episode 12. You can ask us anything. Just give us a little watermark as far as what episode you were listening to us on. and the question that you have, like episode 10, episode 3, or season 10, episode 3. Just give us an idea, and we'll answer your question on the air. And over my far right side, my very own episode is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good, Travis. How are you doing?
Doing well. So this is Talking Terminology. For new listeners out there, welcome. This is a part of the show, the section of the show where we talk about and discuss words that you might hear in the barn when you're walking around, talking to your vet, talking to your farrier, talking to your trainer, talking to anyone that knows anything about horses or doesn't know anything about horses. You might be the smart one in the bunch. And we kind of define these words that you might hear, common words that you might hear, that give you a better definition and basically word of origin and how to use it in a sentence. And this week we're going to talk about Carpus, which is Latin.
Carpets.
No, not Carpus.
Not carpets.
Carpus. Carpus. And is it kind of like carpe diem because that means seize the day. So that we're talking about Carpus, which is what?
It's not seize the day.
No, it's not seize the day.
The carpus would be equivalent, and the horse would be the knee. And it would be equivalent to the human wrist and built much like the human wrist as far as the structure of the bones and all that. So because on the front leg, they're standing on their fingernail, on the tip of their finger. And so the bone column, if you talk about from your up from your cough bone all the way up the leg, is laid out just like the human hand up through the wrist to the knee. And the knee would be the carpus joint, as opposed, to the tarsus, which would be in the back end. That would be the hock, which would be like your ankle joint. So the definition on my handy-dandy cheat sheet here says the equine knee or the human wrist. Basically saying carpal. So if you've ever had carpal tunnel syndrome, where have you ever... You know what that is? Where yes. the nerves in your hand, they travel through the middle of the bone, and it gets kind of squeezed, and your hands go numb. So carpal, pertaining to the carpus or the knee. The carpal joint, usually 7 carpal bones arranged in 2 rows, one above the other, sometimes 8 bones, depending on if you're a freak of nature or not. 3 joints of the carpus, bottom joints move very little. The other 2 move more and more. The knee is a hinged, moving only one direction, flexing or extending. No lateral or rotation movement as well. So what did I just read there? When you're moving, you're moving your wrists and stuff? It usually just bends, when the knee bends more one way. There's not a lot of side to side in the knee itself.
And so that's when we're talking about carpus, we're talking about, why don't they just say the horse's knees? Because it's not...
Well, they do call it the horse's knees.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people do, but the true knee of the horse is actually in the hind leg.
I was going to say, is the carpus on the front and back, but the back is built totally different.
The back is built more like the human hind leg. The carpus is built more like your arm.
I don't have a hind leg, Mike.
Well, you do. You just don't know it. But it's like what we call the stifle joint would be more equivalent to the human knee.
Okay, and that's on the back.
And that's on the back, yes.
And up front, so you have carpus up front, and then...
Tarsus in the back.
Tarsus in the back. I think I've got it all covered. Whew! All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, now's a chance to jump on over to the YouTube channel, because we've got a slew of different x-rays that we're going to show about a horse named Wilbur. You might have heard about him a couple weeks back. Mike and Taryn... We're working on him, and these are the actual x-rays from that horse. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. You okay?
Yes.
Okay. Ready?
Ready.
Okay. Fix your mic a little bit. Here, I'll do it. There.
That better?
I don't want it under your chin. I want it in front of your face.
Okay.
Because when I look at your... let me show you. No, this is kind of... See how your voice is big on this side? This is the center line.
Right.
This means the microphone's underneath your chin. See how it's not... And then when you get to mine, see how mine is even on both sides of that line? It's the carpal.
Right.
This is when the microphone's below your chin. Just throwing it out. That's how I read x-rays, Mike.
Right. I learned something today.
There you go. You ready?
Yes.
There we go. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Make sure you follow him over on Facebook as well. He's got his own personal page and also a podcast page. Oops, let me switch cameras here. And the way you do that is just search Equine Dynamics Mike Stine over on Facebook. One basically leads to the other. And he posts a whole bunch of different articles over there. Interesting stuff. He'll probably put these, if you're not watching this on YouTube, Mike will put these x-rays on his Facebook page when he gets a chance. And then that way you can have a visual element as well if you're not watching.
We will have the podcast posted on both on the YouTube so they can watch that and see all of it.
But you can also see the x-rays over there as well. So just give him a little subscribe, a little thumb up over there. Give him a like. And my very own like over there is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good, Travis. How are you?
I'm doing well. So what are you going to do on your 2 weeks off from doing the show? I mean, granted, we're going to sit together and talk about the next topics for season 13, and you can be part of that as well. Just email Mike Stine over at equinedynamics.com.
I, believe it or not, will be out working around and with and on horses.
Oh, believe it or not.
It's a surprise, I know.
Now, one of the horses that you have been working on is a horse named Wilbur.
Right.
And Wilbur is a special person.
He is very special.
Now, do you want to show the x-rays or do you want to show the video? Because I've got two videos. I got two videos.
Whatever you want to do.
Do you know what the videos look like?
I've seen them.
You got one is him it's real quick. It's on a lead rope.
Let's start with one foot and then let's go to the other foot.
All right. So hold on now. I got to switch cameras here. And this is, you want video one? The video one is him on a lead rope.
Right.
This one here. No, I'm sorry. That's wrong. That's him in the past or in his paddocks. Do you want to start with that one?
Sure.
Or do you want to start with this one? What do you want to start with?
It doesn't matter. There he goes with the lunge line.
Okay, hold on one sec.
He is lunging himself.
All right, so I switched to camera 6 here. So we're going to play this in real time so you guys can see it as we're talking about it here on the show. So here he comes. I don't know if there's sound or anything. Here he comes.
He is lunging himself with his lunge line as you see him falling around behind him. Apparently, he got a little...
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't... trip on his lunge line. He's just dragging it.
Well, he's got it going on. You know, Wilbur's got stuff figured out for sure.
So tell me what we're looking at here as he's going around in a circle.
It's Wilbur showing off. No, I tell you, this was one of those cases I got called by one of the vet techs that works for one of the vet clinics that Granite Farms that I've done a lot of work with for many years. And you know, I've been running busy. She knows I always run busy, but she says, you've got to take this one. It's not good. And
what's not good about it? He looks like he's running great there.
This is a couple of years down the road.
Oh, okay.
And that's what's going on. Well, he's got a bum knee. He's totally different from left to right. He says he can't even walk. So when I got there, he comes stumbling out of the stall and he can't stand up. And we did what we could at that moment to kind of get what we could to kind of take care of this guy. But this is in his new home.
This is Wilbur in his paddocks now. He's just kind of hanging out.
He's hanging out. And when I first saw this guy, it's like, oh boy, you know, because the problem with the knee and the problem with his front foot on the side with a bad knee were kind of totally opposite of which way you needed to go with it. And it's like he's a bit of a head scratcher. But it's like I told the owner first time I saw him, I said, he's going to teach us something.
So this is him.
This is him now.
So he looks like he's prancing around.
He looks like prancing around.
So let's see what Wilbur looked like before.
Before what?
Before all this got fixed and stuff.
Yeah, well, we, you know, when I first got the call on this guy, it's like he's in trouble.
Okay.
And I got to go out there and try to do something best I can. And I went out there and he was really not doing well. And I had some old x-rays, but they were not current at all. But with this left knee.
All right, I got a picture of the left knee here. So here's the left knee.
The left knee. He's got some damage, some of his soft tissue, but he cannot straighten that knee all the way out.
And why is that?
Well, because it doesn't want to. It's kind of like my knees. But you know, the knee's kind of been used and abused a bit, and over time it's gotten a little bit larger because of just whatever had had happened to him. He had some tendon and ligament damage around his knee.
Now, this is the left carpus.
The left carpus, yes, left wrist. And then the problem on the foot was, well, it was, you can go to the next one.
Okay.
This was like an original before at some point x-ray. And, the foot's run forward. If you drop that center line out of the joint straight down, the foot's run way out in front of him. And by the time I got there, if you look at on the front of the foot, the distance, you see that you can kind of see the lamina in there. Mm-hmm. It's stretched out down at the bottom of the, between the thickness up top and where it is down lower on the foot, the whole thing's been stretched forward. Okay. And by the time I got there, the foot had really collapsed. And we go to the next one. And, I kind of had to do something in a pinch. He came out of the stall and, anyway, this is a little bit different view. And this was first time it's like, get there and get him where he can walk.
Now you got a rocker on here.
A little bit of a rocker. This is forged out of a regular shoe.
Why do I know that? Why do we know that?
But I wish I'd had the x-ray of immediately before I touched this guy, because that joint was broken, had to have been broken backwards pretty hard. Mm-hmm. And
this is almost straight up and down.
Right. This is, let's talk about the alignment of the coffin joint. And that's on the side with the bad knee. The problem is bringing that up, the knee wanted to go forward, so you couldn't do it all at one time.
Okay.
And at the moment, it's like, ooh, do we move him much at all? And, where do we walk? Okay.
Now, I've got this X-ray here, and are these wedges in the back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was crushed in the back of the foot, and he has a leather underneath in between the shoe, and that's a little steel red rocker. And I've got a buttress wedge in there that is rubber, and then we filled it in with Equipack. But the mechanics, if you drop the line down from the tip of the coffin bone straight down, the breakover is pretty straight under the front of that coffin bone, so you can roll across it easy. Mm-hmm. Problem we had is how far can you bring it up without that knee wanting to pop forward on you. And so it's taken a few times. And over time, we've gotten it to where we don't have much on him at all, but the foot's backed up and remodeled. But the first time I walked in the barn, I walked in there cold, and it's like, this ain't going to be pretty. I don't care what I do, but we got to get this guy where he can at least be a little comfortable till we can get out there with the vet and X-ray and all that.
Now, what are the time frames between these pictures? Is this like day 1, day 6?
No. There are several months between.
Oh, actually, I can look at the time up top. So this one was done on 2021. June of 2021. This one's done on May of 2023. So already 2 years.
Right. In between that foot had collapsed over backwards. And you can see the back part of the foot where it's just destroyed back there.
Yep.
And
then the next one is 6 months later, about 6 months later, in 2023. So you can see where Mike's put the wedges and everything in there.
And it's changed some since. So since then, we're not using the rubber buttress pad anymore because the foot was able to recover.
Now this one is July of 2022. So that was
all before I got involved.
All right.
And that's probably a little bit better picture than the original one, but that was back before I got involved.
So now that's the left side. Let's go to the right side.
Let's go to the right side.
So here's the right side. And this one was done in 2022. Same, yeah.
Yeah, and this foot had been around with some laminitis, and you could see the growth ring in there and all that. And then you got, down at the tip of the toe, you've got some separation in there. And he, at this point, I think he does have something underneath that foot, between the foot and the ground.
I'm looking at the joints here. I mean, this one goes down, this one goes back up, and this one goes down again.
Right. The alignment is probably a little better on this one than the other one was. It definitely is than the other side. And but this foot is on the clubby side for sure. Mm-hmm. And then we were dealing with laminitis in this foot.
So this is a year before. This is in 2021.
Right.
This picture here.
And the foot was.
That's the change on it.
Well, yeah, that's not even where I'm even involved with the horse at this point yet.
Right.
But he'd gone around with some laminitis, and the joint. I mean, if you look at that leg alignment, it's not it does not come straight down under his shoulder.
No, now this is May of 2023.
Right.
And it looks like a blown shock on a car.
Kind of, yes.
This is a lateral?
No, that's a DP shooting from front to back.
From front to back, okay.
The other shots were laterals.
Right, gotcha.
Okay.
I didn't learn that one yet.
Right. So that foot was, when I got there, it had been a while since the horse had been done. This side's clubby. There again, been dealing with laminitis and what all, trying to get it where it can walk. Mm-hmm. And when I just walked in the barn, and I was like, where do we go with this guy? And at this point, when I came in the barn, that looks ugly, but it's an upgrade from where we were when I walked in there, because everything had shot way forward on the horse. And then that's more where we ended up with it.
Yeah, this is October of 2023.
Right, and we got some soul depth. And right here, he's happy. This is kind of where he is when you see him bebopping around out there, right?
Right. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we're going to watch those videos of him bebopping around, and Mike's going to continue talking about what he had to do to get this horse sitting straight. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget, for every podcast, we do have a matching video over on YouTube. Search Equine Dynamics, Mike Stine over on YouTube. Give him a subscribe over there. You're slowly creeping up. The numbers are creeping up. All the people out there, and everyone's commenting on the videos, commenting on the little short features that we have over there. So if you don't have the whole entire afternoon to be watching, video after video, we do have the shorts over there on YouTube, which is great. They get right to the main little nuts and bolts of the podcast, and you can see there little 3-second videos, and you can check those out as well. Just go to YouTube, search equinedynamics.com. My very own short little video over there on my far hand side is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good, Travis. How are you?
Doing well. So how's Wilbur doing? Let's go back to this. Let's go back to this picture here.
Doing fabulous.
So this is Wilbur, and
right,
and this is done about a year, almost coming up on 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And so
and he's got a leather. And
I see.
I've got a little bit slipped in from the back, and actually that piece in from the back, I've got a little bit of an angle. That buttress wedge is not set straight because he kind of wanted to sink to the medial side, and that's something with him. Every time we've redone his feet, as far as what we've done with that, has been different every time.
Now I see the leather here. What is that wedge made out of? Remind me.
The one on that side is a Curtis Hamilton.
And what's it made out of?
That one is actually plastic.
Okay, so that's not
firmer. It has some flex to it, but it's firmer than the one on that really low slung side. Mm-hmm. The one on the low slung side is something I got through Doc Red, and it is more of a rubber. And this wedge is not set straight forward. The other one is straight, closer straight forward. This one, I've had to tweak it to where it's aimed out because the horse wants to, at one point, was a medial side sinker, meaning the medial side pushed down. Mm-hmm. And as everything is realigned, then you get less and less and less. And at this point, I've done away with that wedge, and I've got the leathers in there. And on the other side, where I was using the little buttress cushion, mm-hmm. The back of that foot is developed at this point enough that we don't have the buttress cushion in there. And that video of him when he was inside the wooden fence,
we're going to show that here again in just one sec. So this is the other wedge that you have.
Right. That one's the rubber buttress pad, buttress wedge.
Buttress wedge.
And it's soft enough because he was just crushing the back of the foot, and we've got Equipack in there. So to kind of support it. And, I have made up a paste. It is affectionately known as Wilbur paste at this point. That we paint all the crevices in the bottom of the foot. And because, when it's wet and everything, and then the foot's sealed up, you can have some thrush problems. And I promise you, it has no thrush with that paste in there.
Now, here's the video of Wilbur. Mm. And here he is in his paddocks here. Now, how old is Wilbur, do you think?
Wilbur is the age he feels like he wants to be.
He looks like a young horse. Let's put it that way.
Right.
He looks like he might be 4. Well, he's got to be at least 5.
He's old. He's a little older than that, but
okay.
he is a well-kept fella.
Yeah, if you're watching him here, he's perky. He is
perky.
He's looking around. He
doesn't miss much. But at this point, he is on that rocker format on that front end. And
in this video right here, that's those rockers on the front end.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Right.
All right.
And the other video also. But in the other video,
I'm trying to
at this point, we've got leathers, rubber, and the rocker format. And the other video where he's lunging himself, at that point, he's still got, he's got the plastic, the Curtis Hamilton on one side with it tweaked to deal with the medial side sinking. And then he went in his house. And on the other side, we still got that buttress wedge where he's inside the white fence lunging himself with his own personal lunge line. Because
here he comes. Here he comes. I got to switch this so people can see his feet. Oh, you cut off his feet in the video. Did you cut off his feet in the video?
I didn't shoot the video.
There he is. There's his feet. And let's see, where's the other video at?
Right.
I got to get back over here.
This is his permanent home. He bought it.
There he goes. And there he goes running there.
At this point, he's got the Curtis Hamilton in there, and his tweak is. We had to play with the angulation of which way it's aimed every time because of what was happening to the foot. And he's also got that buttress rubber pad in there, which I've played with several thicknesses of that buttress or a buttress rubber pad a few times as far as how deep it's in, what thickness it's in, because you can do them in different thicknesses.
Now, how's his back legs compared to his front legs?
Well, you see what he's doing with them. The back legs were really not ever that much problem. And, if he is under attack or anything, it is very, very easy, very light, and he's not stressed. And, he's lunging himself because he wants to get his exercise in because he's worried about his fitness level. But, this horse at a time spent a lot of time confined to a very small, like a 12 by 24 area. Mm-hmm. And part of it is he couldn't move without injuring something. But at this, after getting his feet straightened out and the leg alignment straightened out, here we go. And I've had people say, well, I would never do that to a horse. Well, he's a happy fella here.
What was his job?
Being Wilbur.
I know, but now that he's up in quote unquote running, what's his job now? Is he just
His job is what you see. He's being Wilbur. He is a saddlebred. I think at one point he had a bit of a show career. And
he moves very beautifully in this video here.
Right, even though he's got strange looking shoeing.
Exactly. I mean, some of the best basketball players have weird shoes, so
right, yeah, there you go.
But I mean, I don't see anything outstanding.
No, nothing screaming at you here.
I mean, the shoulders look good, the hind looks good, the back end looks phenomenal. I mean, it looks like he's holding himself, he's keeping himself together.
Well, when I first worked on this guy, I had to park forward of the barn enough that he could walk out, make a big swing around to come back in if we wanted him to turn around, because if you tried to turn him in the barn, he'd fall down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was that bad. And I'm like, oh, geez. And the owner has gone, believe me, the extra mile for this guy. I'm not saying that a lot of people would have done this, and they might not have.
Now, is his back a little low looking in?
Oh, yeah. He's definitely got kind of a sway back kind of a fella.
But is that common with saddlebreds or no?
Well, you would rather it wasn't, but
Okay.
I've seen some, and I don't make my living in the saddlebred world.
We have to get Simon Kokoza out here to fix that that suspension bridge.
Yes, exactly. Simon could take care of that for us. And but at this point, he's a happy guy, and
he looks really happy. He looks excited.
He does, and you don't get anything past him. He notices everything.
Oh, I can tell he's alert. Look at him.
He notices everything. He's a good boy. He tries.
And this is the horse. This is the famous horse Wilbur, or what did you call him before? Willoughby or something like that?
I think she was calling him Wilby.
Yeah, Wilby.
He is the unicorn.
So there you go. That's Wilbur right there. Looking good. All right, guys, we got one more little segment. We'll let you get back to playing with your pony. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget, you can be part of the show. You can join the podcast. The way you do that is go to equinedynamics.com. At the very top of the page, it says join the podcast. Your voice can be heard right here on the air. Now, if you don't want to go on the air with us, that's okay. You can write Mike an email. Just fill out that little contact form and put a physical address on there. You can ask us a question. We'll read it here on the air, or we'll answer your email. Make sure you put a physical address on there, though, because we'll send you out some of the new stuff that we have here with the new logo on it. And we'll send it out to you right away. So just go to equinedynamics.com, fill that out, and we'll get it out to you. And my very own new logo over there on my far-hand side is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good, Travis. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So, Mike, what did we learn today?
What did we learn today?
Talking terminology, talking about the carpus, which is Latin for the equine knee or the human wrist. So this is a carpus.
Right, and what we call the knee on the horse is
also
a carpus.
Also a carpus. And so when we're talking about that, you said that go ahead about the knee of the horse. Describe that for us.
Well, it's built very much like the human wrist. It pretty much only flexes in one direction. And then, of course, we were talking about Wilbur, which part of the problem with him was a knee problem. And we were adjusting those angles up. If you went too fast for him, he couldn't stabilize the knee. So we had to keep it within a range where he could stabilize the knee. And as the tendons and ligaments adjust, we go a little further, go a little further, go a little further. And we got him where he can bounce around his paddock and have fun. So
that the carpus is the carpal pertaining to the carpus of the knee. Carpal joint usually has several carpal bones arranged in 2 rows, one above the other, sometimes 8. 3 joints are the carpus. Bottom joint moves very little, and there are other 2 move more and more. And then we had some x-rays of Wilbur.
Right. This is not typical everyday shoeing, but he's not a typical everyday guy.
You called him a unicorn?
He's a unicorn. And this was actually better than the first time I saw his feet. And we've had to work it along to get him, like with that 2 years, those feet had just crushed.
Yeah, this is July or June of 2021.
Right.
And this is 2023 now.
For what that joint looks like, I hate to even show it, but the joint wasn't, the horse, at least at that point, I was able to do something quick and get him where he could move. And then we've moved forward from there, and got him to be a happy guy.
I can tell this joint is more upright.
It is very upright
compared to
alignment. That alignment of that joint is terrible, and I don't know how it got from there to there because I was not involved in that. Mm-hmm. But I promise you, before what was done to that foot, where it was broken back real hard, it was pretty sad when I walked in the barn the first time.
All right, guys, if you've enjoyed the show and you like this podcast to perform out at your location, the way you do that is go to equinedynamics.com. At the very top of the page says clinics. Fill that out. We can do this at your location just like you hear it and see it right here on the channel, on the YouTube channel. Fill that out, and we'll pencil you in. We got a couple weeks off. We haven't figured out what day we're actually going to come back yet. We'll discuss that here shortly. And don't forget to follow Mike Stine over on Facebook, and he'll let you know when the podcast will be back up and running. We'll take a couple weeks off and come back with season 13 ready to go, but now's a great chance for you to go back through and listen to all the past shows you might have missed over the last several days or several weeks or something like that. Get that out there right now, follow up, and get caught up with us. On behalf of Mike Stine over there,
thank you, have a good day, enjoy your ponies.
My name is Travis, saying see you in a couple weeks.
Hi, Lucky. Good night, Ned. Hi, Dusty. Good night, Ned. Good night, Ned.